first schedule to the Electoral Act. The appellant by Section 134 of the Electoral Act has been totally foreclosed on any amendment, which was in fact a hidden agenda promoting the application. The saying is true that even the devil does not know a man's intention. It can only be inferred from the act exhibiting that which is conceived in the heart, mind. The use of the word shall in paragraph 14 sub 2a of the first schedule to the Electoral Act mandatory and places a complete bar to any form of amendment to file does not allow for an exercise of discretion whatsoever. Further still, on the critical portion of the application, relief 2 seeks to one additional witness which with AEO. It is pertinent to state that at the close of pleadings, parties have submitted the list of witnesses who were to testify together with their depositions. The idea, purpose, and intention of the application is suggestive of nothing more but a clear confirmation seeking for an order of an amendment as rightly and ingeniously thought out by the trial tribunal and also affirmed by the lower court. This will certainly violate the provisions of Section 285 of the Constitution, Section 134 of the Electoral Act, Clause of Court. In his concurrent judgment in the same case, Nguta, ASC, specifically stated follows: the court, the additional or further witness depositions sought to be allowed for a just and fair determination of the petition are fresh facts as found by the tribunal, and which finding was endorsed by the lower court. This court will not interfere with the concurrent finding of fact of the two lower courts when the appellants have failed to show special circumstance for this court to do so. Election petitions are time-bound, and the court will not allow the party to resort to any sort of subterfuge or frustrate the intention of the Electoral Act that petitions also discussing. The petitioners in this case have relied on the earlier decisions of this court in Omidiran versus Ete, Lasun versus Awoye Gupta, to argue that the subpoena witnesses whose witness statements on oath were filed outside the time limited for the presentation of the petition are competent to testify because they are subpoena witnesses who do not work for the petitioner. However, it is pertinent to observe that unlike in the present case, subpoenas issued at the instance of petitioner in the case of Omidiran and Ete and Lasun versus Awoye were decided under the Electoral Act of 2006, which did not have provisions similar to paragraph 4 sub 5, the first schedule to the External Electoral Act 2022. Secondly, the subpoenas in the above two cases were issued and served on adversaries, namely the resident electoral commissioners. Again, those two cases were decided before the introduction of Section 285 sub 6 of the 19th Constitution of Federal Government of Nigeria 1999, which mandates that an election petition shall be decided within 180 days from the filing of the petition. Thus, whilst this court in Omidiran and Ete and Lasun versus Awoye appeared to have adopted a flexible approach, the Apex Court had taken a strict approach in latter decision for Oke and Mimiko. Indeed, in subsequent following the Apex Court in Oke and Mimiko, this court, by urging JCE, as he then was, now JC, elected this strict position of the law over the person Vincent at paragraph 46, 48, paragraph 8b, while he held as follows at court. I think that this court in Omidiran and Ete and the Supreme Court in Oke and Mimiko adopted different approaches in addressing the issue of whether the tribunal or court can allow a witness deposition or other document not filed along with the petition or not filed within the time allowed for filing election petition to be filed and used in an election petition proceeding. For Omidiran's case, it did not strictly enforce the time limits described in Section 141 of the Electoral Act 2006. The provision in the first schedule thereto in prohibiting the introduction of additional facts in the proceedings after the period allowed for filing a petition and closure of pleadings in paragraph 1 sub 1 of the Election Tribunal and Court Practice Directives of 2006 on the content and form of the petition, held that the purpose of the draft direction is to guide and late compliance with and observance of the provisions of the first schedule to the Act and the Federal High Court rule were applicable. This elastic application of the electoral laws by this court in that case is not in line with the current judicial approach of strict enforcement of electoral laws and the current approach of applying the electoral tribunal and court directions as overriding the rules of court election court cases. In Mimico, the Supreme Court approached the issue in keeping with the current judicial trend of strictly applying electoral laws and procedural rules and giving them supremacy over rules of court in election cases. The Supreme Court has consistently, in a long line of cases, insisted on this strict and inelastic approach opposing electoral law. The law has laid out systema juris in Oke and Mimico is that a witness position that is not filed along with the petition within the 21 days allowed for filing the petition cannot be filed in the proceedings. It held thus, if there was an evidence which was fundamental to the determination of the petition, that evidence ought to have been placed willy-nilly before the tribunal within the time limits specified by the Electoral Act or any other act. That evidence ought to be regarded as the final cause of the petition, even if it has been withheld by any person. The Supreme Court, as stated in Ocha Miniko and followed by this court in Oba and Vincent Supra, is that by the combined provisions of Section 855 of the 1999 Constitution, Section 137 of the Electoral Act 2022, and paragraph 4, 5, and 6 and 14.2 of the first schedule to the Act, every written statement on oath of the witness which a party intends to call must be filed along with the petition within the time limited by Section 208.55 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, and Section 132, subsection 7 of the Electoral Act 2022. Once the time limited for filing of the petition has elapsed, the contents of the petition cannot be added to or amended in any manner or under any guise. Any written statement on oath of a witness filed outside that 21 days limitation will amount to a surreptitious amendment of the petition and a breach of paragraph 14 of the first schedule to the Electoral Act 2022. This is irrespective of whether the witnesses to be called are ordinary or expert witnesses and whether they are willing or in witnesses. Since then, this has been the consistent position of the law followed by this court. Indeed, in Okuru versus Obi, this court held this position by our learned brother Bola Tinubu stated that court. From the records, PW3 and PW4 was summoned by subpoena issued by the tribunal and presented as expert witnesses. The question is whether this without more entitles the appellant to file their statements on oath outside the time set for filing the petition. Or a reply to the respondent's reply in answer to the petition and of the humble view that whether an expert witness or not, the witness remains a witness. So the proviso to Order 3, Rule 3, Sub 1 of the Federal High Court, Civil Procedure Rules 2009 and 9, made applicable to an electoral election petition by paragraph 54 of the first schedule to the Electoral Act, provides that the statements on oath of witnesses requiring subpoena from the court need not be filed at the commencement of the suit. 2. The witnesses who require subpoena or summons shall, at the instance of the party calling them, discharged with civil form 1A before the filing of the statement as witness. The application of that rule is with regard to and was subject to the provisions of the Electoral Act, not independent of the Act. Paragraph 54 reads, subject to the express provisions of this Act, the practice and procedure of the tribunal or the court in relation to an election petition can be as nearly as possible similar to the practice and procedure of the Federal High Court in the exercise of the civil jurisdiction, and the civil procedure rules shall apply with such modifications as may be necessary to render them applicable having regard to the provisions of this Act, as if the petitioner and the respondent were respectively the plaintiff and the defendant in an ordinary civil action. The provisions of the Electoral Act being a substantive law shall override any rule of court which is contrary to provision. The subsidiary legislation must conform with the principal law, CNNPC and Afamfa Oil Limited. The proviso to Order 3, Rule 31 of the Federal High Court Rules 2009 cannot override or affect or whittle down the absolute and mandated provisions of Section 285 or 5 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as 1999 as amended, which stipulates that an election petition shall be filed within 21 days after the date of the declaration of the result of the election, and paragraphs 4, sub 1, 5, and 14(1) and 2 of the first schedule to the Electoral Act, which stipulate the content of a petition. It is therefore clear that in law, the provisions of Order 3, Rule 31 of the Federal High Court Civil Procedure Rule 2009 cannot provide a platform for filing and using witness statements on oath not filed within the time limit set for presentation of petition, and which time cannot be extended for any reason under any guise. The focus of our decision in Ogba and Vincent Supra was the injustice in allowing a piece of evidence were presented to the court when the opposing party would have no opportunity to react to it. It is my humble view that the position of the law, as can be gleaned from the Section 2855 of the Constitution, paragraph 4, to do so will amount to creating an avenue which a petitioner can use for his pledge to override the respondent. That is the stand of the Supreme Court, Oke and Mimiko, number 1 Supra, followed by this court, Oba and Princess Supra, those of court. Again, in Ararume and another, and Anik and others, in which I wrote the judgment, therein are stated as follows. The law, therefore, is that the deposition of a witness must accompany the petition at the time of filing the petition. In other words, a written statement on behalf of an intended witness must be filed along with the petition. Thus, any written deposition of a witness not filed along with the petition will not be countenanced by the court or tribunal. Therefore means that a written deposition filed by a witness not listed in the petition nor his deposition prolonged cannot be countenanced by the court or tribunal after the expiration of the time prescribed for the filing of the petition. I think that is what the tribunal decided in this case, in line with the decision in Oba and Vincent. The combined effect of paragraph 4.5, Roman 1 and 2, 14.1 and 3 of the first schedule to the Electoral Act is that no witness can testify in chief before a tribunal if he has not deposed a written statement on oath, which must necessarily have been filed along with the petition. Close of court. From the foregoing judicial decisions, it is clear that in election petition litigation, whether the witnesses which a party intends to call are ordinary or expired witnesses, and whether they are willing or are supreme witnesses, their witness deposition must be filed along with petition before such witnesses will be competent to testify before the tribunal of court. It is instructive to observe that one of the leading senior counsel for the petitioners in this petition, Dr. Onyechi Ijadu, SAM, was the lead counsel to the second respondent in Ararume and another versus Anik, wherein he successfully challenged the competence of a supreme witness, Ama Ibom Abu, PW2, on the same ground that the witness statement on oath of the same witness was filed on 8/7/2019 by the Supreme Court and by this court. Yet they embarked on subpoenaing PW3, PW4, PW5, PW6, PW7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 13. 10 out of their 13 witnesses whose witness statements on oath were not front-loaded along with the petition. The petitioners have tried to argue that the same witnesses are witnesses of this court. With respect, this argument is misconceived because the